week, Nesta Warrior Mindset. Just improvising over a backing track of the blues. Today I'm going to go into what I've calculated as far as my steps and everything. So I went on my calendar and I looked at my calendar and I kind of took the average of every time I walked 60 minutes, every time I walked 45 minutes, every time I walked 30 minutes, and every time I walked for 15 minutes. So for me, every time I walk for 60 minutes, I do about 7,500 steps. That's pretty much the average. And I burn 350 calories. So for when I do 45 minutes of walking, I do an average of 5,500 steps, burn 250 calories. 30 minutes, 3,500 steps, 150 calories. And then for 15 minutes, 1,500 steps and 50 calories. So you kind of see a progression here. For every 15 minutes, it drops 2,000 steps and 100 calories. So if you're trying to hit your targets and you're trying to be in your deficit and you kind of want to figure out, how many more calories you need to burn to, increase your deficit. That's the breakdown there. I mean, you'll have to do your own research because everyone's different. I'm 5'11", roughly 5'11 and a half, depending on which way you measure. So almost 6 foot. So I have a pretty long stride. Might be less for some since they're shorter, might be more, or it might be more for those who are shorter and less for those who are taller. Just by going, if you're going to go by, distance, if a 5'5" guy walks 3 miles versus a 6'2" guy walks 3 miles, the steps are going to be different. But I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure for about the same, you should be able to do the same amount of steps in the same amount of time if you're walking on the treadmill. This helps greatly, not only for your deficit, but if you're going to go into mini cut. So I'm at the end of the year, wherever I'm at, I'm just going to do a mini cut. It's basically a 4 to 6 week cut. It follows the same lines as your deficit, but basically your deficit is sort of a little bit lower and more controlled versus mini cut it's more aggressive and it's short and quick. I've been roughly around 2,000 calories for a couple months, so my deficit has been pretty extreme. So I've weathered the storm, so this mini cut's not going to do anything to me as far as make my muscle mass go down. I mean, I didn't really have that much muscle mass to begin with. I was that skinny fat sort of thing, and I've been measuring over the weeks and months, and basically my muscle mass sort of roughly stayed around the same. It hasn't increased or decreased. So whatever I got now is whatever it's going to be at the end of my deficit. It's only going to get I'm obviously going to gain weight when I go into my maintenance calories. So I think that's when I'll have to watch it, because I'll actually have gained some muscle and got some size on me. So I'll look at that. So basically, the only thing that's going to change would be I'd probably lower my fats and keep more carbs. That way it fuels my workout. Slightly reduce my protein a little bit so that I can eat more foods that are fuller, like sweet potatoes and rice. I know I've talked about my diet before. It's usually sweet potatoes, rice, and broccoli. I eat broccoli because it has a high volume of food. You can eat a lot of broccoli for so little amount of calories. So, and I just like broccoli anyways. I mean, call me weird. I like all vegetables. I mean, a good meal for me is, you're gonna miss your favorite foods. Well, most of my favorite foods were healthy anyways. Like salads, I love salads. Give me a salad any day of the week. Some freaking spinach or some romaine hearts and some carrots and some freaking black beans and some onions and some tomatoes and some balsamic vinaigrette, or low-fat Italian dressing, or not Italian, low-fat Thousand Island or Russian. Yeah, I can tear me up for 2 or 3 salads in one day. I'm the anomaly where I like healthy foods generally anyways. But the only unhealthy thing I would eat is a payday. But if you add it into your diet, it wouldn't be unhealthy to eat a payday. I mean, if you just cut out 350 calories somewhere else, that payday's not going to hurt you. I don't normally eat paydays, but I do have a cache of candy bars in the freezer. If I ever want to get wild to lose 1 week or once a month, probably not once a month, but every once in a great while, go out and just eat a candy bar, jump my calories up 450 calories in just 1 week, not every day. Or 450 calories in 1 month. It's not really going to hurt me that much. And if I really needed to, I know what I got to do. All I got to do is walk for an hour. That'll bring most of that calories down to like 100. So if I eat a payday one day, just walk an hour. That's the price you got to pay. That's also sacrifice. And you're probably like, man, just to eat a candy bar, I'm not going to walk for an hour. Well, that's where you're at, and that's why you're going to stay where you're at. These are the things that you have to do. It's all in moderation, so that's the things you got to do to get to where you want to go. So, if you're thinking about, I hope you are thinking about getting lean, like I'm going to be, as I progress through this journey, and you tag along and watch these videos and see my progression. This is just good information for you to catalog and do yourself. Once you walk for 60 days, you'll start to see a trend. Start out slow for the first 2 weeks, and then just bump it up 2,000 steps each day. Soon you'll be up to 15,000 steps a day, 10 to 15,000. That's where I'd go if I were you. Walking gives you peace of mind. You're alone with your thoughts. It's good, low impact exercise. You don't get burned out from walking. I mean, your hip flexors might get sore a little bit, but you just walk through the pain. Your body will adjust and get used to it. Just make sure you're stretching, and if you're in the shower, just turn the water on, as hot as you can get it, and just lay down in the tub and let it just, 5-10 minutes on your hip flexors. good. If you really need to, get some Bengay out. You know, get all gay bend up. You know, or some Tiger Balm. You know, just be careful where you put it because you don't want that shit getting on your nuts. You know what I mean? It ain't gonna be fun. And oh man, the neighbors will know. Yeah, old stories about putting Bengay and Tiger Balm in people's jock straps and shit like that. Yeah, that's some good fun. You know, put them in their socks or something like that. Oh, the fun shit you gotta do. The fun shit you do when when you're growing up, play jokes on your friends and shit. So that's pretty much what the whole video is about. Is just showing you what I've done or where my step count is per minutes of walking and calories burned. So I'm just gonna play us out. Not very good. I'm just cycling through the chords, from A7 to E7, or I'm sorry, A7 to D7 to E7 to C to A minor to F to G. Practicing on the old ukulele. Soon I'll be, weakness of warrior in mindset with the ukulele. And if you haven't noticed, I'm in an RV and I'm headed to Wisconsin for the Siren Convention. Should be there in about 2 hours. Gonna spend 2 days there and then head down to Cedar Point for 2 days and then back home. Good times, fun times. Road trips are always the best. Sometimes they can be stressful just because if you don't leave on time, then obviously, you're not going to get to where your destination by the time you want to. And then you have less time to, mess around and do the things that you want to do. But that's life. So, weakness to warrior mindset.